And I think we are live. Well, so for anyone who's at the beginning of the stream, I haven't live streamed in a while. But I thought this was cool, so I want to check it out. This is Day of Doom. This is my first time playing it, so I have zero idea what to expect. I heard it was cool. I've seen the poster for it they have up. I'm gonna give it a try. Again, I have no idea what to expect. I'm just going into this blind. I hope it's good though.
I'm gonna rape you.
Hello? Anyone with the mic? I guess not. I'm gonna try something real quick. Or it should be good. Alright, so we're on the hero team. I saw the info box on the news tab. It looks like it's gonna be like the end game mode from a while back in chapter 1. So I'm just gonna roll with that and have my own assumptions on what could be here. So we spawn with a random loadout. A legendary striker burst rifle, Captain America shield, dual micro SMGs, super slap splash, and a shield bubble junior. We have to eliminate about 80 enemy players in order to stop them from getting the artifacts. And I just realized I could build. I've been playing this season a bit. This is by far one of the better seasons we got in a long time. When it comes to just, in general, good season for Fortnite. There is a lot to enjoy in this season. I'll say that. I think that's doing it. Oh, I see. Oh, there he is. So this is like endgame. You get to see where he is. I'm gonna try to play on both sides a bit, so I'm not gonna be just in this one match and leave. I'm gonna try to play through both sides. Oh, so every time you die, you respawn with a new weapon. Alright, that's cool. Whoa, what? So do they all have arcane gauntlets? Or is it just a few? Ah, crap. Okay. I have no idea how this works. Crap. Bro, I haven't used those in a long time, ever since. I don't even remember. I'm back with the crap you said now. What? Why is my light? Oh no, they're doing this. It's bugging. I couldn't aim down. It was bugged. Yep, cut it off. I need to get close to Doom. Oh crap. I have no jetpack. Hello, Christopher Carter. Welcome to the stream. We are currently playing Day of Doom game mode in Fortnite. I mean, this is my first match, so I'm kind of just still getting into it. I will say that it's a bit, I don't really like how it randomly gives you every single time you die, it gives you a random loadout. I don't really like that. I wish it would just give you like a treasure map like the previous endgame one. But it's still pretty cool. We are doing really bad right now. I have no idea what's going on. Yeah, exactly, they should have. Because in the endgame game mode, you're given a random treasure map with a random set, but you get to choose from what you would have. You could randomly go around the map and find other mythics, and you can customize your loadout. Warranted, you couldn't have more than one mythic, but at least it's something. I hate it. You cannot just climb up. crap. I gotta sprint. So they have to get one more, what's it called, an artifact, before they win. And we only got about less than halfway to go from winning, so yeah, we're basically done. Thank you. I feel like this version of the Iron Man mythic is a downgrade because you cannot fly and shoot your repulsors at the same time. You have to swap from one to another mythic to even operate. It's kind of stupid. Because before, you could fly, shoot unibeams, you shoot repulsors all in one mythic. But in this, you're forced to switch from both. What were they thinking? Oh, you cannot respawn at this point. Yeah, I might as well switch then. I'm gonna try to see if I can get on the Doom side. If you had a favorite skin this season, what would it be? Doomside is overpowered? Yeah, I have to agree on that. I don't know how true this is, judging from just the pure gameplay alone I've seen. It looks like every single Doom member has an arcane gauntlet. And that's broken. Because we have, on the hero side, we have normal guns, and only one mythic to go by, unless you're talking about War Machine Iron Man. Other than that, we're basically just dead weight. Back then, the other game modes, like Endgame and Infinity War, well, specifically Endgame, they would give you, like, 200 extra health on top of what you already had, to help compensate for how powerful the enemy weapons were. But here we got nothing. Gwenpool? Yeah, Gwenpool's really good in this one. I don't know that much about the comic book character. I saw like one video on it. It's pretty good. No, I have a favorite, but it's not exactly in the Battle Pass. Oh, the Iron Man skin. Yeah, this looks really good, but the bad thing is that, unlike the original, let me show you it. I think I got a... Here's the OG. You have a Tony Stark style, and you can swap with a built-in emote. You got a built-in glider, and you got a cool back bling. But then the new one, you got a skin with just this one style. You got a, I don't even know what this is, like a jetpack, and this is actually pretty cool. It's cool, but it's not variety based. It's just one skin. But at least it's cheap. You can just buy it separate. Yeah, it's cool, but unless you're like a super big Iron Man fan, if you're not that, I would not recommend buying it. But if you're big on Iron Man, then sure, you can get it. But if you're not, then I wouldn't recommend it. I'm gonna go back in. Right, I forgot to mention my favorite. Yeah, that would have to be the Iron Spider skin. Iron Spider skin. Actually, I'm gonna equip that this... crap. The reason why it's my favorite is because, first of all, it looks clean. It's comic book based, but it has its own flair to it. It has a multi-tat Marvel character in movies. Okay, that's a bit of a complicated one, but if I had to pick one, it'd probably be either between probably Spider-Man and Hulk, honestly. I used to be big on Hulk when I was like a little kid, but then it died down a bit, and then Iron Man became my thing when I was like a preteen, and then that died down a bit, and then it's Spider-Man. But for the most part, it's been Spider-Man. I'm a bit more on Hulk than I usually am, because there's just a lot going on. That I've learned about the older movies like Eric Banner's and the Incredible Hulk one, which I grew up on the Incredible Hulk movie. I really love that film. I feel like it's a little bit underrated, but it's getting more positive attention in recent years. So I'm not sure if it can be called underrated anymore. Like, yeah, it has its problems, and same with Eric Banner's movie, but if you really look into it, those are good movies. You've never seen it? You really should. It's really fun. Oh, I was right. Yeah, they all have arcane gauntlets. That's broken. You can't just like okay, Fortnite, if one of your employees are watching this stream, by the sheer chance it is, please get rid of the gauntlets and replace it with something weaker. Every single one of them has this. It's broken. Like, come on. Progressively get more items until the inventory's full. Yeah, that's just bad. Okay, so the first one to get one of those artifacts becomes Doom. I'm not gonna bet that I will get it, because just look at the amount of players that are already at it. I'll try to though. If I'm being completely honest here, I used to be a massive Marvel fan, as you could probably tell from my username. I have an Avenger in it. It takes a while to interact with it. Yeah, I kind of wish it wasn't like that. But at the same time, if you could just instantly pick it up, it would be kind of broken. Like, I think that's how it used to be. Like, the endgame one had the Infinity Stones have a timer on it, but it wasn't nearly as, like, I don't know, I guess crowded in a way. Because it looks like, because before, the superheroes would take longer to get to the location, but here it's like a bit too crowded. In a way, if that makes sense. I don't know how to describe it. I'm gonna try to get one of the artifacts and see what happens. And as I was saying, I'm not as much of a Marvel fan as I am now. I'm a bit more on Batman, if I'm being honest. I just feel like, because the MCU is kind of going downhill, although the Captain America World Order movie, I am interested in that, because Red Hulk is going to be in it. And I hope that they don't nerf him. If they nerf Red Hulk, there is no hope for the MCU. This is the one chance we can get any version of the old Hulk back, in some way. If they fumble that, then it's over. I'm gonna say that. If this movie turns out being good, then good on them. I think what they should do to get their company back together, they should fire everyone who has a creative vision in that company, because they're doing a terrible job. Someone in that company had the good idea to have Red Hulk in the movie, as he is now. That's like the one thing they got going for them. You want to see Spider-Man and Deadpool movie? Yeah, a Spider-Man movie. Which one? Do you mean like Sam Raimi, Andrew Garfield, Tom Holland? Which one? I'm not really big on Deadpool. I don't find him funny. Like, I'm not really into the low XD humor that he has going on for him. You don't care? I'm not saying you can't, but I'm just not big on Deadpool. Or if it doesn't matter which Spider-Man movie, then yeah, most of them are good, except maybe for a few. But I honestly cannot say I didn't have fun watching any of the movies. I had my enjoyment with all of them, but there's just a few more that I prefer over others. Spider-Man has a no-kill rule, but Deadpool has killed almost everyone he has met. I mean, I haven't seen much of the movies, and that's why it's so good. Are you talking about the humor or the kill rule? If you like the low XD humor, then good on you, but yeah, not everyone likes it. But that's okay. Although I'll say this one thing. Even though I'm not big on the Deadpool movies, that Wolverine scene with Hulk, the cameo, that just fueled a little bit of excitement in me, because that is teasing on a potential Wolverine versus Hulk movie, and I will tell you this. If they actually go through with that, that will be peak Marvel that we ever had in years. You know, maybe next to Spider-Man, but... Because think about it. Have you ever seen that one anime movie, Hulk vs. Wolverine? I saw it's like a 20-ish minute short film. That was peak Marvel animated movies. It was violent, it was bloody, it was genuinely one of the best animated projects I've seen from Marvel in my entire life, I'll say. It was really good. And they weren't even really that biased with the fight either. They both were like an even split. If we get that live action films, that will rack in so much money for Marvel. Is without question. I guess while we're on the topic of Hulk, I want to talk about why they did my boy so dirty. They made him a joke. And yeah, this isn't really a original discussion since lots of people talked about it before. But as a long-term Hulk fan, it just makes me mad to think just what they did. Like, I think the reason why they did such a poor job with him over the years is because he couldn't get a spin-off. Well, that's what some people think. I don't believe that. Partially. I do believe that it's partially because he couldn't get a solo movie because of Universal, like, holding their IP hostage. But that doesn't mean they should make the character a joke. They can still do him some justice, even if he's not the main character in the movies. Like, they could have given him something. They could have given him like a little a side arc in one of the movies. And honestly, I feel like them replacing Betty Ross with Black Widow as the part in that whole dynamic is just bad. Like, why didn't they just bring Betty Ross back? She played not just as a love interest, but an entire part of Hulk's character, especially in the Incredible Hulk movie. They just took that away and they're like, hey, how about we just get Black Widow and have her take her spot? It didn't make any sense, and theoretically it could have worked in a way. It could have worked in a way. Oh, I just realized we aren't respawning. Crap. I'm gonna go another match. And theoretically it could have worked. But the problem is that after they established the whole Black Widow relationship between Hulk, they did little to nothing with it. In Infinity War, they had nothing. In Endgame, they had like 1, maybe 2 interactions, but that was it. And even after Black Widow died, all Hulk did was through a bench, got a little mad, and that was it. It had, like, they established a new relationship, but then it had little to no build up. It had nothing going after it. If you're gonna take out a vital character, a vital part of the character like Betty Ross the Hulk, and replace it, at least make it good. Like, Marvel has to get their crap together. That's for certain. If this Captain America movie that's coming out soon is good, this could be like a new stepping stone for Marvel to make good movies again. But if it's not, then we're basically cooked. And I heard some stuff about the new Spider-Man movie coming out, Spider-Man 4, for Tom Holland. I heard it's gonna have some multiversal stuff, and I'm not digging that. The multiverse in MCU right now is single-handedly the biggest problem. It has brought so much crap to go wrong. Like, any stuff that happened is the multiverse. I will say this. Spider-Man lost all of his storyline. Yeah, pretty much. You know what it feels like? It feels like almost that someone intentionally has a vendetta against Marvel, but they like, here's how I picture it. In the early 1990s, or however far back when Marvel used to be good, everything was good. They all had these good ideas for movies and TV shows and stuff. But then when the early 2010s came around, it's like someone had this vendetta against Marvel, and because they wanted to tear it down, they joined the company, climbed the ranks, and they had like this influence on the Marvel team to make just the most crappy movies, TV shows imaginable. If there's a good TV show or a good movie character, they destroy it. It's like someone had a vendetta against Marvel and they climbed the ranks to destroy the whole company. And they're disguising it as a good thing. And that's kind of what it feels like, if I'm being honest. I don't know why. I have a hard time believing that they just fell off this bad without any, like, internal reason why. And I grew up with these movies. It sucks to see how it's going now. But there's not much we can do. The most we can do... Actually, no. I got a single best reason how they could fix this. Let's stop going to see Marvel movies. Because the less money they make, the more good movies they are forced to make. And the good movies they are forced to make, we will go back to seeing those movies, and we actually have good movies again. If they don't make any good movies, they're just going to continue to go downhill, and they're going to crumble. They will have nothing after that. If Marvel doesn't make good movies like they're used to, they are going to die off. They will die off. And I feel like their only hope at the moment is the Captain America movie. If that goes down, then the whole company goes too. Because Spider-Man is going through the gutter. The Wolverine movie, it was pretty good, I've heard of. But that's not going to save the movie. Or no, not the movie, the company. Like, they should go back to the roots. Start over. I'll go as far as to say they should reboot the whole franchise. Start fresh. Because then, if they have the right creative team, then they can actually start over the whole cycle of events again. Hopefully without the end part. They can start making good movies again, they can have established characters that people will love. They can make box office successes. They can have everything they had before, but they have to restart. It's just too bad in this current one right now. But I will say this. I have a little faith in the new Avengers movie coming up. Avengers Doomsday. I'm a little concerned that Doomsday will be a Tony Stark clone, because that would completely contradict Doom's character as a whole, his name literally being Dr. Vic Von Doom, but for his name to be Tony Stark, that doesn't look good. Because if they mess up that simple thing, they're gonna mess up so much more with Doom's character. But if his name is actually Doom, then maybe there's a little bit of hope. Like, I just want to have us two movies again. Like, everybody would be so... Tony and Victor are roommates in the comics. Yeah, I'm not really knowledgeable on much of the comics. And I also heard that Tony Stark at one point in maybe the comics became Doctor Doom. I don't know how that is, because I'm not really a comic fan, I'm more on movies and TV shows. But if it's good, then good. But if it's bad, then I don't know what to say. Tony tested his suit on Victor and he got stuck in it. I don't really know what that means. Now, do I think that Marvel recasting Tony Stark as Doctor Doom was a good choice? I will say this, it could be good. It could be. But they have to play their cards right. If they mess this up, along with the Captain America movie, then the entire MCU is just gone. They have nothing left. These are the only things that could actually warrant them making any money for them, and it's their only hope. I could go to see the movie whenever it eventually comes out. It's only good right now because he's known for loud words. Yeah. Although I will say this. Them bringing back the old, like, directors or creative team that made the old Avengers movies to make the new one, that seems like a good sign. Because they're the reason why, what was it, the Russo brothers? They're one of the reasons why the MCU got so popular in the first place, since they made the first Avengers movie. I think they made Civil War 2. It was a good idea to bring them back, but I'm gonna say it though. If they still find a way to mess up the movie, then they're cooked. Like, I don't know, that's all I'm gonna say. Right now, there is a glimmer of hope for Marvel with their 2 movies. I think there was like another movie coming out that involved like Bucky or something. I'm not sure what that's called, or I don't remember it. I heard it's not looking good for that movie. I'm not sure what to expect though. It just really comes down to a few things. Now, I'm not one to get like talk about controversial things and all, but I feel like it would be necessary for this discussion. Like, again, I'm not really one to talk about these kind of things, but I feel like it should be said at least a little bit. If Marvel has some kind of agenda they're trying to push, completely cut it out. If they have something they're trying to say that's been messing up all their movies up to this point, cut it out. I feel like them trying to push certain agendas in certain movies are the reason why the movies are doing so bad. Like Captain Marvel, they're trying to push a feminist agenda. Them trying, like, you can make a good feminist hero. Like, think of Mulan. What made that character so good was that she worked hard to get to that point, using with the abilities and knowledge she had at hand. But for Captain Marvel, she gained everything from the start. Oh, you have to go? Alright. Have a blessed day, Christopher Carter. Cool to have you in the stream. See you around. I'll likely make more streams like this. Maybe like a few more. Although I'm not that big on streaming though. Yeah, see you. That's what it looks like? Yo, that's actually fire, what? Yo, okay, I'm gonna switch matches again. I'm gonna try to cop that. Although I'm still curious about one thing. About what the Galactus helmet is doing in the ocean. Was that just to garner hype? And it's gonna lead to nowhere? Are they gonna eventually do something with it, like bring him back in some way? Is there gonna be like a live event at the end of the season where you have to fight him alongside Doctor Doom or some sort? Is Galactus gonna help us fight Doctor Doom? And that has a tie-in to do with the game mode. But that's all speculation. We have zero idea what the live event is at all, because the season just started like a month ago. I want to say this. Three things. There's three things that Marvel can do in this situation to fix the MCU. They can either bring back all the good writers, creative team, and scrap the old ones that they have going on right now, and start with a new creative direction for the MCU. It'll take a while, but they can slowly bring it back to its roots in some way. Or two, they can cut out all of whatever trying to do pushing any agendas and go back to making actual good movies. Warranted, it could also take some time too. And number three, they're gonna do the simplest option. Reboot the MCU. And it will take a while to garner back all that hype because of all the crap that's going on now. But they can make it work if they start fresh. And if I have one tip for them, do not make Hulk weak. Because Hulk is a good, interesting character, and they don't gotta do him dirty. Okay, that's side pointing it. The real tip. Well, I can say. I'd say to keep it pretty grounded. At least in the start. I would not jump to the MCU stuff like they're going to with Spider-Man, where they're immediately bringing in the multiverse and stuff. Keep it grounded for the most part at the beginning. And then over time, over the years, once it's necessary or if it can help the situation, bring in just a little bit of space stuff, maybe a few things related to the multiverse, but do not make it about the multiverse purely, because that is what messed up the MCU in the long run. I'm gonna say that. That's what they can do right. Now what else do I gotta say about the MCU that hasn't been said already? There's basically nothing. I think I've talked about everything there has to be with the MCU up to this point. I'm gonna play like one more match and end stream. I hope to get Doctor Doom at least once. But if not, that's fine. I went to the stream thing and I was just gonna be quiet and just play the game, but I wasn't expecting to have this much fun. Maybe this can be like a new content style for my channel. Maybe just talking about Marvel news and stuff, and my takes on it. That could be interesting. Now, just for anyone who just so happens to be watching or has been around in my channel for a bit of a while, I have a few plans for what I could be making in the future for my channel. And a few of them I'm not fully certain of, but I would like to work on it. I think it's already kind of established enough that I'm a bit of a Batman fan, just from my profile picture alone. This will likely take a while. Lots of time and effort. But I want to like I originally had plans to make like an animated Batman TV show of some sort, which I'm still thinking of. But I don't think it's the right time for it, because in order to get to that point, you have to like grow your art skills and stuff. I'm working with okay, well, I'm not working with someone. I'm doing a solo project. It's alone. That's why I say it will take a while for it. I have the plans for it, but it's just not the right time to fully get into it because I need to hone the skills first in order to do so. If I do eventually get to that point, I hope to make a series. It's gonna be a short one, because obviously one guy, one teenager working on a whole animated show on his own, working on everything, that'll take a while. Possibly months, years, maybe. I hope to bring like a new perspective on the Batmanverse. Now obviously this is not going to be a paid production, because obviously again I'm just a teenager working on this. But I would like, if I could do it, I would like to bring a new perspective into things, or at least something good. Because you know how like there's a lot of animated shows and movies that aren't doing the character justice. Well, the DC films and TV shows, well, no, okay, not the films, but the TV shows, the animated ones, they're doing a little better a job than Marvel is on that. I would like to bring in characters that haven't gotten the chance to see the screen of the TV show or a movie or something. Or they have been on the screen, the big screen, but they haven't done justice. Now, warranted, this is a solo production, so it's gonna be difficult to figure out some things, but I'll try to see through it. Now, this is not gonna be a super big thing, because obviously, again, a solo project, it's just me on this small YouTube channel. But I want to bring like a little cool Batman production into the mix of things. I want to bring a series that will use certain characters, Batman characters, that haven't gotten the chance to have a good thing going for them in animated movies and stuff. Like, look at the movies. Think of Bane. Other than The Dark Knight Rises, or in most cases, think of an authentic appearance for the character. One that stays true to the comic books. One that stays true to his character, and doesn't do the character dirty. My favorite Batman villain is Bane. If I had the chance to bring the character into its true perspective, I would be 100% on board with it. But I have other plans. But I'll definitely keep on my radar as an option. But what I'm thinking is to bring a character that hasn't been used very well in most cases and bring him into the bigger picture. I want to bring If I had to think of one villain that I would like to be as the main villain of my TV show, if I could make one, it would be Killer Croc. Killer Croc. He hasn't really gotten that many good TV shows or movies or such, especially in the movies, because he's just a joke. I'm also a pretty big Killer Croc fan. I would like to bring him to something that does him justice. Now, I'm not a professional writer, so I'm probably not gonna make a masterpiece off of this, but I think I know the good amount of steps that it takes to make a good character like him. The first thing, keep it for the most part at its roots. Don't change the character in a way that would be stemming away from what the character stands for and what it means. Try to keep it accurate. And for the second part, have a good motive behind it. If the character is lacking a good motive between the things they do, it's gonna crumble. And I gotta make a character that, well, I still not sure what I could make him as just yet. If I want him to have like, I'm not sure if I want to make him like a morally gray character, or I want to make him evil, distinctly evil. I think I would like to have him to be a little bit in the morally gray area, but stemming off the deep end. Because while Killer Croc has had like bad experiences and he didn't want to be the way he is up to that point that he is now, being a villain and all, the things he's done, it cannot be redeemed. It's unjustifiable. Again, just keep it in the roots of the character, and it'll turn out good. Now, I did think of Joker a little bit, but I am very not on board with it because we have gone far too many Jokers, both in animated, both in movies and stuff. It's a little bit oversaturated. Instead of getting in the characters that you know people will recognize and love, bring in new characters that not many people know and allow them to have a time to shine. Now, I will be open to recommendations and suggestions for what characters to include. I'm thinking to make this a grounded series a bit. I don't want it to be too unrealistic like maybe a few others. I want it to be a bit more grounded, like the Batman. Which I'm a big fan of. Kevin Reeves' Batman is my favorite. I love how they handle it. Everything, honestly. I want to make it a little bit like that, but have its own spin on things. Like, it'll be mostly grounded, but it'll have a few, like, non-grounded elements here and there. Not enough to make you like most DC shows. It will be grounded enough to have its own unique flair, but it'll still keep some elements that could benefit the overall timeline and story, if they really come to the case. Now, I had the idea of making the show have a unique spin on its art style. Because if you think of most shows, they all tend to keep to like one specific art style, but change up how the characters look. I don't really want to do that too much. Again, I want to keep it a little bit grounded, for the most part. Like, the characters aren't gonna have like super unrealistic proportions like you see in like the animated series. But again, it's gonna have its own spin on things. It's gonna be a semi-realistic show, for the most part. And what I mean by changing art style, I mean like how settings look. And here's my idea for it. Imagine a Batman animated show with a painting-like art style. Now, there's a few shows that have done something similar, but ones that haven't fully dwelled into that point yet. Like, imagine a Batman show that looks a bit like a painting. Would you think that's a good idea or not? Now, warranted, it will take a while to make something like that. But I think it could turn out good. Now again, solo project takes a long time, yeah. I'm still learning this all. But if I eventually get around to that, it could actually bring something good to the DC-verse as a whole. Warranted is fan-made and non-profit. But yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna say for now. I still have a long way to go, but these plans come to fruition. Warranted, I do still have things like school and such, so I'm not gonna make this a big priority, but I do have plans on it. And that's where I have another thing in mind. I know I just said I was done, but I'm not. In the meantime, I'm thinking of making like a small comic series, because that takes significantly less time to make. And I still have a lot of things to work on before I get to that point in the TV show. And I do have like plans on how long I would make it. I would want each episode to be at the least 5 minutes, maybe around 10 minutes max. Because again, solo project, not gonna do this all in a quick motion. It's gonna be a bit of a smaller one than others, but it will spend like maybe 5 to 10 minutes in like 5 episodes for one season. I don't really have plans on making a second one after this. I wouldn't, if I had a plan for a season to run, Killer Croc would be the main villain the first season, and Bane would be the second. We would start off with Batman. It would be like a newer Batman. He's starting to get into crime fighting, but he's not quite like inexperienced like when we first see Kevin Lee's Batman. Like, he's getting into it, but he's had a little bit of experience. And he hasn't met a supervillain just yet. But then he meets Killer Croc, and that's his first real challenge. And then after that, he eventually goes around to it a bit more, and then Bane comes along, and things get a bit more challenging for the Dark Knight. But that's why I planned. Now, I've tried to play through the match, and try to get Doom, but I just couldn't quite do it. So I'm gonna stream here. And this gave me a good time to just talk about how I felt with the MCU and whatever else I had planned. Now, warranted, don't take any of this as serious as I maybe took it at first, because I am just a teenager. I'm not gonna guarantee to you, any of you, that I will be able to pull off all these plans. There may be changes. There may be some things that are scrapped. But I do have plans on it, and I hope it comes to life. But that's all for now. I'll have another stream up, maybe right after this one. Just other things I have going on, but not necessarily projects, but more or less like Fortnite related stuff. I'll see you on the next one. Have a blessed day.